Hello, should be streaming. So this video I'm making specifically for other YouTube ministries and other people that are trying to minister the gospel and things like that. Because they're failing to be watchmen in many ways. But there's a really specific way, not that they're failing, but there's a specific thing that Enoch told us, and it couldn't be clearer. So what I would ask you to do, if you're watching this, is to share this, not my video necessarily, but share this information with ministries, people that call themselves watchmen, people that call themselves truthers, because this is unseen, it's unknown, and it's so clear. It comes down to, because I brought this up with like almost all the ministries that I've visited on YouTube, and none of them even pay attention to any of it. And a lot of these ministries pride themselves on knowing the Bible and knowing the book of Enoch, right? Knowing the Apocrypha, Jubilees, and Jasher, and all these books. But Enoch saw what destroyed the earth. Remember, at the end, it's all in the scriptures, all over the place. The stars are going to fall from the sky, and the sky's going to roll up like a scroll. Well, that's real, and it's really going to happen. And the thing that's going to cause it is in our world right now. It's in our world right now, and it's working on destroying it. That's why God said in Revelation, I'm not sure which chapter, he said he will destroy those who destroy the earth, because there are men and spirits of fallen angels called kings that are destroying the earth. So we're going to do something simple. There's a chapter in the book of Enoch with 3 verses in it, and that's all we're going to look at. 3 simple verses in one chapter, chapter 57. So I'm going to try to put it up on the screen here, hopefully. You notice it says blasphemy here. There's a reason for that, because we've been warned clearly all throughout the Bible. The beasts that everyone thinks that is like the Roman Catholic Church or the Pope or all these ridiculous things, no, they're not listening to the words that the prophets, John and Daniel specifically, what they said. They said they saw these things going up to the sky, these beasts. They were lifted up from the earth, coming up out of the earth, told to arise. Okay, there's a lot of things that everyone ignores. But Zechariah 5, there was a flying roll or scroll, and that the angel told Zechariah that was the curse. So there is a curse, and it has manifest, and we're living in it. So let's study these 3 verses in the book of Enoch. Should be able to see. There we go. All right. I'm just going to read it first, and then we'll go back over it again and make sure that it's very clear. Because this is, like I say, I'm not trying to get my video to be seen a bunch of times. I'm trying to get other people to acknowledge what's coming. Enoch saw it, told us about it, and if we look in our world, we can clearly see it. And if you haven't heard this before, then listen up, and it's not hard to understand. We have some people in the chat, James Richard and Tim Pack. How you doing? And Roderick. Good to see you guys. Good to see you guys. Thank you, James. Okay, I'm going to read it, and we'll go over it. And it came to pass after this that I saw another host of wagons and men riding thereon, and coming on the winds from the east and from the west to the south. And the noise of their wagons was heard. And when this turmoil took place, the holy ones from heaven remarked it, and the pillars of the earth were moved from their place, and the sound thereof was heard from one end of heaven to the other in one day. And they shall all fall down and worship the Lord of spirits. And this is the end of the second parable. Okay, I'm trying to keep this video short, so I'll tell you the chapters to go to if you want to study it for more information. But if you go to chapter 18 in the book of Enoch, it describes clearly what the four winds are. Okay? And the four winds are what God furnished the entire creation with. And they are the foundations of the earth, and they are the pillars of the heaven. That's in Enoch chapter 18. Go look at it. And then Enoch chapter 60, three more chapters after this, is when Enoch sees the Lord's the last day of his long suffering, and the heavens quaked and shaked, and it was that time. So what happened here in this chapter? Well, first of all, he saw another host of wagons, and I've read other versions that say chariots. Hey, Nat, how you doing? And Flat Earth Space Agency and Kelly Lowry, good to see you guys. Yes, James, Enoch chapter 80, verse 6. Man will err concerning the stars, and the order of the stars will be concealed from the sinners. Think Flat Earth, guys. Okay. And it came to pass after this that I saw another host of wagons. Okay, so when I read that, I'll just be honest. When I read that, or chariots, I'm thinking of a man with a horse, and he's standing in a chariot with two wheels on it and riding behind a horse. That's what I'm picturing, okay? But then the picture changes because Enoch gives us more details. Well, there was men riding thereon, so that was also what I kind of assumed. But then it says, and coming on the winds. They were flying, guys. There's no argument for this. The four winds. This is the same as the air where the birds fly. The four winds. It's the atmosphere, the air. I don't know what else to describe it as. Enoch described it very well in chapter 18. He went and saw the treasuries of all the winds. So he saw men flying on wagons. And what was it that happened? It said, and coming on the winds from the east and from the west to the south. Okay, so it sounds like it could be like even a commercial jet airliner, right? But no, because it says here, and the noise of their wagons was heard, and when this turmoil took place, the holy ones from heaven remarked it, and the pillars of the earth were moved from their place, and the sound thereof was heard from one end of the heaven to the other in one day. Friends, this is where, if someone does not acknowledge this, maybe it doesn't even matter. But I know what Ezekiel 33 says about being a watchman and blowing your trumpet. So if you are a ministry, whatever you're called to do is fine. But if you are telling people, first of all, if you're talking about the book of Revelation at all, or any of these books, like the book of Enoch, I would look at the whole book, not just parts of it that you understand, okay? So if you haven't heard this or thought of it in this way, that doesn't mean that you shouldn't. It just means that you haven't yet. So here we go. Start thinking of it this way, because it's very clear in here. He saw men riding on the four winds, that's up in the sky, and super loud noise that shook the whole heavens, and it was heard from one end of the heaven to the other in one day. Okay? One word. Rockets. Daniel 8 verse 10. And it waxed great even to the host of heaven. Where's the host of heaven? Up there. Where's the abyss? Up there. There was darkness upon the face of the abyss, the deep. Up there. That darkness we call space is not what NASA thinks it is. It's not a universe like a heliocentric universe. No. Jesus called it outer darkness, where there'll be weeping and gnashing of teeth. This is not a joke. It's time to wake up, Bible believers. It's a serious thing. Enoch told us that he saw some sort of wagons with men riding on them, and they were very loud, and they were flying, and the pillars of the earth were moved from their place. James Richard says, I would love to do a 15-minute live show with you concerning Job 38. Hey, that would be great. That's certainly possible, James. Am I friends with you on Facebook? If I'm not, maybe we have to do that. Otherwise, I'll have to get your email. Or actually, you can send me an email at effedupworld@gmail.com, and then we can chat there, and then we can do that. That'd be fun. I would love that. Flat Earth Space Agency says, Joe, thanks for being tolerant with me sharing about some other issues like child trafficking. Sometimes you're a patient dude. Hey, man, I just know what I'm, what becomes clear to me needs to be said. I have to say it, and I'm sure it's the same for you. So I'm not here to tell you what to say, but I am here to tell people that are ministering to other people to warn them about not taking part in this wickedness of ascending into heaven. Okay, this is something that I don't see why. I do see why ministries wouldn't think that it's a big deal to ascend into heaven, but that's all Satan wants to do. That's his plan. That is his deception. Lucifer says in his heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. This is all talking about going up to the sky. NASA's mission statement is to go up to the sky and explore the heavens. That's not what human beings are supposed to do. God did not give us dominion of the sky. He gave us dominion of the earth, right? Over the earth. And Satan happens to have a dominion, I think it's over the air. I think it has to do with the four winds. So, yeah, I'm not trying to make a super long video. I'm trying to get through to channels like Kingdom in Context, who still has no clue about this. I've asked him about it. Nothing. No response, no reply, no anything. Same with Parable of the Vineyard. Same with any number of ministries that we could name. If you read the book of Enoch, there's a description of how the heavens work. And below the heavens and above the earth is a place called Sheol. And people say, no, Sheol's in the heart of the earth. No, it's not. Maybe it was, but not today. Jesus is coming, and that is why all the deception's happening up there. Let me just put it this way. I was watching a shuttle launch replay, which is the loudest noise that men have ever made, besides the moment of a detonation. The loudest continuous noise that men have ever made would be the space shuttle. And isn't it interesting that there are men riding on that too, on the four winds? This is not a theory. This is the testimony of Enoch, is what it is. Which is probably the testimony of angels, because they showed it to him. Very important. And here's another thing about, it's related to this. The rocketry and the space exploration and all of this, that is all, it is the fallen angels defiling mankind. So it is how we were born into sin. Not the generations before us, but us. It's here, and it's been here 60 years. That's the falling away. Because what happens in Revelation 12? What does John see? He sees a sign of a woman clothed with the sun, which I believe that we did see that. September 23rd, 2017. And if we did, or if we didn't, we still see a dragon. That's what John said. He said he saw another. He looked up to the same place in the sky, and in heaven, and he saw a wonder of a dragon. Does anybody understand that there's actually a real dragon up there made out of metal? And Bob and Doug rode up on it. And it's up there right now, attached to something, giving it its power and its seat and great authority. This is a story straight out of the Bible. It's in Revelation 13. There's a beast that is the 8th wandering star, flying circles above us. Hey, Deborium. Oh, that just reminded me of something. Deborium, when we did our show last time, I didn't finish saying something that I really regretted not saying. And I think it was just because I think we just forgot. But I had asked you about the fire coming down from heaven. I maybe mentioned that it's something that we should very carefully consider. Even if it doesn't matter if you're a flat earther or a globe earther or a Christian or not. In Revelation 13, John saw a beast coming up out of the earth. And it had 2 horns like a lamb. And I'm thinking the Falcon 9's a 2-stage rocket. 2 horns like a lamb. And spake as a dragon. Okay, this is where it gets real. Spake as a dragon. And this is another thing for kingdom in context. If he could only keep the context, he might understand this Revelation 13, 11 through 13. So he sees the beast coming up out of the earth. Well, I always question, what does it mean coming up out of the earth? Like a tree comes up out of the earth, right? Yeah. But if we keep the context and we read 2 verses later, we realize, it wasn't talking about a tree coming up out of the earth that way. It was talking about something leaving the earth, going to heaven. Leaving the earth. Because it says coming up out of the earth. And then 2 verses later it says, and he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven. So the context needs to be kept. Sean, just saying. I don't like to say that I know all the scriptures and that I know everything, how the gospel works, and I know everything. But I do know something. Enoch, in chapter 57, saw a host of wagons flying up in the sky. And it made the whole earth, the whole foundations of the earth, or the pillars of the earth, moved out of their place. And if we go to chapter 60, which I'm not going to do right now, if we do that, we can see what happens from it. Enoch couldn't even handle it. He couldn't handle the sight of it. He like passed out. His spirit left him. And then once Michael sent an angel over to him to get his stuff back together. And once he did, then he explained, he said, this is the last day of the Lord's long suffering. And the stars fall from the sky. Because of men riding on wagons up in the sky with super loud noise that shook the whole place. So if you ever, if you're one of these people that say landing rockets is fake, that probably just means that you have eyes to see. But they're not fake. If you read your Bible, what does it say? And he doeth great wonders, and he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of man, and deceiveth the world by the means of those miracles. So don't believe in that. It doesn't mean it's not real. it means it's a satanic miracle. Something Satan is doing in the sight of the beast, in the sight of the eighth wandering star. And if you're wondering why I'm saying eighth wandering star, it's because, again, you got to listen to the testimony of these prophets. What did Enoch say in chapter 18? What did he see? He saw 7 stars in a place that was a waste and horrible place with no water, no birds and whatever. And there was 7 stars there. And what was special about these 7 stars was they were evil and they were imprisoned. Just like in Jude verse 13, it says, raging waves of the sea, the waters above, raging waves of the sea, foaming out their own shame, wandering stars, to whom is reserved the blackness of darkness forever. Remember Genesis 1 verse 2. There was darkness upon the face of the deep, and the deep, there is the abyss. It's above the earth, guys. Isaiah 14 verse 9, hell from beneath is moved for thee to meet thee at thy coming. This is, other versions say, the spirits in Sheol get excited when he's going to come. So they go up there to deceive the world. And that's exactly what it is up there. It is Revelation 12 again. What did John see? He saw war in heaven. And who was fighting? Who was fighting? It was Satan and Michael. Satan and his angels, and Michael and his angels, right? The dragon and his angels. And Michael and his angels. Who are Michael's angels? Revelation 7. There's 4 angels holding back the 4 winds from hurting the earth. So in that time when that other angel said, wait till we've sealed the servants of God. So right now, guys, is when the servants of God are being sealed in their foreheads. So believe the truth. That it's so important right now. It's so important. Oh yeah. James was saying he always thought chariots of heaven was modern day tech, airplanes, military jets, chariots with breastplates, helicopters. Yeah, a lot of that, because a lot of it says they had the faces of men, and I mean, it just seems like a pilot, it just seems like you'd see something like that, and I agree with you. Hi, Cindy Lou, how you doing? Good to see you. Let's see, did I say hi to everyone? I think I did. All right, guys, just please share this. Not you can share the video, but share the information. I don't really, there is no interpretation for this. Enoch's just telling us he saw a host of wagons with men riding on the 4 winds, and it was the noise that their wagons was making. Whatever they were riding on, it was super noisy, and it shook it moved the pillars of the earth out of their place. Hey, Doc, how you doing, man? Good to see you. Thanks for hanging out. Just please share it, guys. Share it with Celebrate Truth. Share it with Nate Wolf. Share it with Take on the World TV. Share it with Now You See TV, John Pounders. Share it with Cutting Edge, John Hall. Share it with Vincent Rhodes. I'm just trying to think of people to share it with. There's a lot of ministries out there. And there's a lot of people that, if they understood that this was something that Enoch saw, they would probably think, what does that mean? What does it matter if we know how the sky's going to fall? Well, it's because the people who don't believe, if they knew this, if they said, oh, Enoch saw that, okay. But then also they know, oh, there's John saw something coming up out of the earth and then making fire come down, and it was spoke like a dragon. And then the dragon's tail in Revelation 12 made cast a third of the stars down with his tail. Well, okay, so Michael and his angels are fighting with dragon and his angels. And who is Michael's angels? It's those 4 angels holding the winds. the four winds are very important. And speaking of the firmament, go study Enoch chapter 18. I think the firmament is not what a lot of people think the firmament is. I'm not saying I know what it is, but to me it has a lot more to do with something we can't see with our eyes, a barrier or a separation that we can't see with our eyes. We can see right through it into that darkness. And if you want, like Deborium is a person that's spinning on a globe yet. If you think about this, Andrew, the bottomless pit, I'm saying that it's up in the sky. It's the darkness that has always been there. And NASA will verify that for us. Okay? Simply just take the concept of the space station, and the people on the space station are in zero gravity, right? Or essential zero gravity, because they have that outward acceleration, right? Or whatever that's called. I don't know the proper terms. They have that outward that matches the gravity, right? And so as they fall over the edge of the globe, they're essentially free falling perpetually around the globe, perpetually, without stopping. They're free falling into darkness. Okay, and that's just the beginning. That's like a head start into hell. So that I'm just saying, be careful. Yeah, James Richard, that's what I'm talking about. Beaten out as solid, like rakia, like beating out metal. I understand that. And then, like Job says, like a molten looking glass. I don't think that these mean it's solid. And it's Enoch 18 that gives me that idea. It says he furnished the whole creation with the four winds, and stretched the firmament out with the four winds. So to me, anywhere that there's air is part of the realm we live in. And if there's not air, it's part of another realm. Something like that. But I don't think it's a solid thing myself. Even though I understand rakia means, it means to beat something out, or to flatten it out, or to spread it out. And I think what that is, basically what I think that's saying is he stretched out the firmament, because we know the stars, sun, and moon are in the firmament. And I know that at the end, Ezekiel talks about this, lots of prophets talk about this, at the end, the men would climb into that firmament and defile it, into that darkness. Space is full of light. Why would you think it's dark? No, Deborium, it's dark. It's darkness. That's what it is. Go out at night. The stars are the only light. The stars and the sun and the moon. And then during the day, there's daylight, which is not necessarily sunlight in my beliefs, but we'll see soon. We will see soon when the sun goes dark and the moon doesn't give its light and the stars fall from the sky. Then we'll know what darkness is. And so, yes, it is dark. Totally dark. Totally dark. I guess we could dance around and say, but the light from the sun bounces off of it. Yeah, well, the sun is in that darkness. It's in there, lighting it up, or lighting things up, lighting the earth up, whatever. So that's, I guess I'm just in awe that all these people don't see these things. See, all these lights are within the firmament. Yes. And they're for signs. You know, that's another flat earth thing. There's a few verses that say that the Lord's talking to, like, Ezra in 2nd Ezra chapter 7, and he says, that the time will come when the Lord is going to come and visit his creation. And when the signs appear that he foretold us, and I'm thinking Revelation 12, September 23rd, 2017, it says that the land that is kept hidden or invisible or whatever, different versions or different, versions say different, but the land that was hidden will be openly displayed or disclosed. The land, the promised land, the land, flat land, flat earth. And then there's another thing that, like, I get blocked on Kingdom in Context channel. I'm just giving you an example. Because I say flat earth came down from it just like New Jerusalem. It's a city built without hands, or Mount Zion. Jesus carved it out without hands. It comes down out of heaven from God. That's what John saw. And what I'm trying to tell people is John is like with us. And he's telling about everything that we're experiencing. And he wrote it in a book 2,000 years ago. Somehow, that's what happened. It's just, he saw SpaceX Dragon. He saw Elon Musk. He saw coronavirus. I think he saw people getting their temperature checked on their hand and on their forehead in order to, this is what it's going to, like, that was one other thing too. I see a lot of people that are believers that are frustrated right now, which is understandable. I think everybody's a little frustrated right now. But remember that all of these things have to come to pass, and we have to endure them, whatever they may be. So there was some comments on a video I put out today. They're good comments, but some of the people in the world can't see what's happening. And pray for those people and minister to those people, because they are truly filled with fear. This is exactly what it says that in 2nd Ezra chapter 13, that a whole innumerable multitude of people, or whatever, the whole world basically, gathered against the Son of God, and they were filled with fear, yet they dared to fight. So these people, they don't understand what's happening. And so when you see someone driving in their car with their mask on, scared to do anything, just take a second and thank God that he's showing you the truth. Thank him for making you in the situation you're in, even though it may be frustrating. Because just trade spots with that person wearing that mask and put yourself in their mind while they're driving, and they're scared to death. And that's just not, it's sad. It's very sad. And I would say, put your faith and trust in Jesus, and don't worry about COVID-19. That's what I would say. So, yeah, Doc Michael, I like that. We've come a long way from just flat earth. Totally. Sun, moon, and stars are to bring light on the earth and for times and seasons. Yes. Yes. Earth is not up there with them. They were put up there for the earth. They're in the earth's sky. They're celestial. And that's what's so interesting. Like, the heavens are above us. And so when people look up, what do they see? Do they see some military thing? Like, oh yeah, that belongs to the Air Force? Or is that what they think? Like, when you look up at the clouds, especially when you see clouds, just remember that Jesus is right there. He's right there. And remember when in Acts, I always bring this up, but it's so important. Remember when Jesus said to them, to stay there and wait till the Holy Ghost came or whatever. And they were like, are you going to renew the kingdom now? And he said, it's not for you to know the times or the seasons. But that when he ascended up into the heaven, into the clouds, this was real, guys. These were people standing there, and Jesus went like up into the sky, like Chris Angel style, okay? Up into the sky, and the clouds received him, and he disappeared. And then there was two, what I believe to be angels, standing in white, saying to them, hey, ye men of Galilee, why do you look up there? Why are you looking up there? The same Jesus is going to come back in the same way. So what I'm telling you is, when you look up at the clouds, are you seeing like, oh, sweet, a rocket launch? What is a rocket doing? This is the same. Sending a rocket up there is the same thing as in Jasher chapter 9 or Genesis 11, when the Tower of Babel, when Nimrod built the tower. And when they got the tower built, and they went up on top of the tower, and they shot arrows and spears up at heaven to try to kill God. And God sent them strong delusion and put blood all over the arrows and dropped them back down to cause them to err. That's what's happening, guys. Don't believe in the strong delusion. We landed on the moon. NASA believes it. They've just gone into a place that God didn't allow. So he's allowing it because he said nothing will be restrained from them which they have imagined to do. And we got Google Translate. We are a world of one language and one tongue and words of union. There is no language barrier in this world anymore. So if you look around, I was just watching a NASA and it was an ISS thing, and they had two Russian astronauts, and they had an American astronaut, or a NASA astronaut, and they were answering hashtag ask NASA, just answering questions, and it was just like a normal interview, and they were just being translated like in real time. Look at these coronavirus updates that all these politicians are doing, and they got the sign language people there. There's no language barrier here. So here's another thing. I saw a video today. I don't remember the channel exactly. It's Wayne Levy or something. I can't remember his channel's name, but I really like that guy, and I really like his channel. And he's always got videos, Mark of the Beast is coming, Mark of the Beast, or Antichrist is about to be revealed. And I'm here to say that please don't make ideas or whatever videos about the Antichrist is going to show up soon, when he's already destroying everyone. He's already using his craft and destroying peacefully. And it happens to be, I'm reading it right here, Enoch 57. That's part of it right there. Oops, I got an alarm going off somewhere. I don't know where. All right, guys. Yeah, I don't know. Are you going to be taken as a thief? Is he going to come as a thief in the night, or are you actually going to realize that what's happening? Because, like I said, look up at those clouds. And the New World Order, or all these sayings that we hear, the one world government and all this, that's not in your Bible. Or beast system, that's not in your Bible either. There is there's a beast, and when the people in the world look up at it, they wonder, and they say, look what we did. We've had a 20-year human presence in space, in low Earth orbit. We look down on the earth and look at what we see. We see it from God's view. take a hint, NASA. You better get down. If I were you, if I was Bob and Doug, I would get down 2 weeks till Dragon comes back down. Just so you know. Remember in Revelation 12, John saw the dragon being cast out into the earth. Well, 2 weeks from now, you can watch Bob and Doug from NASA, the 2 NASA astronauts. You can watch them get on the dragon and be cast out into the earth, okay? 2 weeks from now. But I'm probably just interpreting that, right? I'm making an interpretation about what John saw. No, I'm just listening to John's testimony. He told us that he saw war in heaven. That's up in the sky. He saw a dragon fighting with, I'm guessing, those 4 angels holding back the 4 winds. So, oh yeah, tribulation saints. I really like that guy. I like his positive attitude, and I've always kind of I don't mind listening to him. He's very positive, but at the same time, I think he's good at spreading the good news or whatever. Joey Roach, Chihu. Good to see you, bro. Let's see. James Richards says, Antichrist's spirit deceives us into believing we live in a world we don't even live in. Yeah. What does Obadiah 1 verse 4 says? It says, what is it? Though thou it's about setting your nest in the stars, and thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord. These high places. I mean, I actually heard Sean Griffin, like, there's something that's just not connecting. It's not like Sean is not well versed in the scriptures, but when it comes to reality, you got to connect these things. He's like saying that all the high places will be made low. That's said so many times in the Bible. The high places be made low. And he said, so I'm guessing all the skyscrapers and towers and things will be made low. And I'm like, what about a little higher than that? What about those things? All the rockets and the space station and everything blaspheming God's secret place. The darkness. The darkness that's over the face of the earth. People forgot about that place or something. That's where Jesus would cast spirits to. Or unclean spirits. Cast them out into outer darkness. Come on. It's in the Bible. So, yeah, that's another thing, Noah. That's another aspect, or another way to look at it too. Bringing the high places low or whatever. It also mentions people's. I don't know the exact verses or whatever, but people being brought low. So I think it's very. It's coming. It's coming, and it's like, I don't know when, but I just know that when. I don't even know. Everyone here is gonna watch it. That's what I'm saying. It's in Revelation, the dragon. How long does he rule for? How long till he's booted out of heaven? Well, God sends 2 witnesses. And what's a witness, by the way? 2 witnesses. That's another concept that I don't know why people can't figure this out. Like, the way that I read it, Revelation 10 verse 11, John is one of the witnesses. He's told he's going to have to prophesy to many nations, tongues, and peoples and kings or whatever. And John witnessed the end of the world. He witnessed all the beasts deceiving all of the saints and prevailing against them and having power over them. Okay? It's a witness. He's given us his testimony about what he witnessed. That's the whole book of Revelation. And then Daniel had 2 visions in Daniel 7 and 8, and he witnessed the same thing. He witnessed the end of the world. And he witnessed a he-goat, going after a ram and pulling him up to the stars and casting the stars down, stamping upon them. And it was, before it went up there, it was moving across the face of the whole earth without touching the ground. That's not what a normal goat does. But Daniel didn't know what it was. He was describing something that he saw. And if we look at some of these vehicles, they certainly do look like a little he-goat with a notable horn between its eyes. Okay, Daniel did a very good job. It's awesome. And Daniel 12 verse 13, what does it say? It says, go rest or something for you, because you're going to have to stand in your lot at the end of days. So Daniel's told that he's going to be doing something too. So I consider them to be the two witnesses, and I also am witness to their testimony that they wrote for us in the Bible. So I believe they are giving their testimony, standing before God, and I believe the Holy Spirit is how we hear that, because he doesn't speak what he hears, I don't remember exactly how it goes. Howbeit, when he, the Spirit of truth, is come, he will guide you into all truth. He shall not speak of himself, but whatsoever he shall hear. And he will show you things to come. And those two witnesses are standing before God. Just think about it. The Holy Spirit proceeds from the Father. That's how we know. That's how we hear it. Hey, Grace Styles, good to see you. I'm sure a lot of these things that I'm saying could be debated or argued against. That's not the point, though. The point is that John and Daniel both witnessed something, and they wrote it down very clearly, and you and I are witnessing it in our world right now. All of it. So, the Antichrist, or the son of perdition, standing in the temple of God. A lot of people like to say the temple of God is me. Well, in a certain way, yes, but that's not where he's going to stand. He's going to stand in the temple of God, showing himself that he's God. That's up in the sky, guys. What is that? I could name, I don't know how many verses that clearly say that God looks down from the height of his sanctuary, from heaven. He beholds the earth. He's there looking down. Indisputable. But see, Noah says that's in man. Noah, let me read you a couple verses. I understand what you're saying, Noah, but you don't want to say that and just totally eliminate the whole Bible. What does it say in Deuteronomy 4? Verse 39. I'm going to read a couple verses really quick. It says, know therefore this day, and consider it, Noah, consider it in thy heart. Or wait, I went to a different verse, sorry. Know therefore this day, and consider it in thine heart, that the Lord, he is God in heaven above, and upon the earth beneath there is none else. So, in heaven above, and upon the earth beneath. So, when you say that's in man, I can't say you're wrong, because the Holy Spirit proceeds from the Father, who's in heaven. Let's see here. What else? I could read probably a verse. I could go to Psalm 150, right? 102. Psalm 102. I just haven't done this for a while. Where are we? Something in 102. Verse 19. For he hath looked down from the height of his sanctuary. From heaven did the Lord behold the earth. Up there. Isaiah 40, verse 22. What does that one say? That one says, it is he that sitteth upon the circle of the earth, and the inhabitants thereof as grasshoppers, that stretcheth out the heavens as a curtain to dwell in, and spreadeth them out as a curtain. Wow, I'm sorry. And spreadeth them out as a tent to dwell in. let's go to Revelation. Because if we say, oh, God lives in man, okay, where does the Spirit of God dwell? Well, I shouldn't say it that way. I should say exactly what Jesus said in John chapter 14. That'll clear it up. I gotta go there really quick, and then we'll go to Revelation quick and read some more about the temple of God in heaven. John 14. I think it's verse 9, maybe. I might be wrong there. Oh yeah, I'm not. Well, in my Father's house are many mansions. If we're not so, I would have told you. I go to prepare a place for you. Where did he go? He went up into the clouds. If I go prepare a place for you, I will come again and receive you unto myself, that where I am, there ye may be also. So he's going to receive us. He's going to come again from there, which is exactly what those two angels said in Acts 1. Ye men of Galilee, this same Jesus that you watched go up into the clouds is going to come back in the same way. But that's not the verse I was looking for. Oh, here we go. Verse 14, verse 16. And I will pray the Father, and he shall give you another comforter, that he may abide with you forever. This is what we're talking about, Noah's aspect of it, that it's in man. Even the Spirit of truth, who the world cannot receive, because it seeth him not, neither knoweth him, but ye know him, for he dwelleth with you, and shall be in you. So yes, Noah, that is correct. But where's the temple of God? Do you get what I'm saying? I hope you get what I'm saying. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying there's more. That's what I'm saying. Let's see if we go to Revelation. Well, here's one. No, that isn't one. I could do a search on here. Maybe I'll do that. It'll be more useful than me just going through my pages. Let's just go to, oh, this is going to have, oh, sweet, John 17. Okay. Let's go to temple. And we'll just look at just Revelation. Uh-oh. Did I freeze up? Looks like I froze up. Oh, that was funny. It went in fast forward or something. Okay. Let's go down to, my computer's kind of doing a little. Okay, it says there's 13 times in Revelation where the temple is mentioned. Let's just see how many of those times are talking about heaven. Well, here's one. Him that overcometh will I make a pillar in the temple of my God, and he shall go no more out, and I will write upon him the name of my God, and the name of the city of my God, which is New Jerusalem, which cometh down out of heaven from my God. Let's see. There's more. Okay. Revelation 11 verse 1. And there was given me a reed like unto a rod, and the angels stood, saying, Rise and measure the temple of God, and the altar and them that worship therein. And actually that just reminded me of Ezekiel 8. Ezekiel got taken up by his hair between the heaven and the earth to the visions of God in in Jerusalem. Up there, between the heaven and the earth. Here's another one, Revelation 11. No, that's not the one. That has information though. 11 verse 2. But the court which is without the temple leave out, and measure it not, for it is given unto the Gentiles, and the holy city shall they tread under foot 42 months. That's what Enoch saw, you guys, in chapter 57. The main idea of this video, the main reason why I made this video. Enoch saw them treading the holy city underfoot. And actually, just reminds me of Enoch chapter 56. Like, I didn't even talk about that. It clearly says it. It's talking about going up from the ground up to the sky. And I just want to go here really quick. Because if you, like, I just want people to understand this, that's all. Let's see here. Okay, so anyway, back to the temple. Okay, look. And the temple of God was opened in heaven. Okay, that's not on the earth or in us, that's in heaven. Another angel came out of the temple. Look at this one right here. How can you argue with this? Another angel came out of the temple, which is in heaven. So that almost makes it sound like there's the temple in heaven, and then maybe men. Who knows? Here we got another one, Revelation 15:5. And after that I looked, and behold, the temple of the tabernacle of the testimony in heaven was opened. Okay, there's another one. Do you guys get the point here? Revelation 16:17. And the seventh angel poured out his vial into the air, and there came a great voice out of the temple of heaven from the throne, saying, "It is done." Up there, guys, please. So, and then let's go to this. Check this out. Enoch, right here. It's talking about the kings. Remember, the kings were horns? Horns? Like, I'm thinking, you know what I'm thinking. Horns. Conical shaped vehicles. Yes, the bottomless pit is where the fallen angels are bound. Truth. Enoch chapter 19 says that. The Genesis 6 angels, that the fallen angels that took human wives and created giant offspring, they're up in that firmament. They're up in the darkness above the earth. That's where Enoch saw those 7 transgressing stars. And that the Uriel told him that was a prison for the stars and the host of heaven. And he also said that again in chapter 21 of the book of Enoch. So, and then, like, there's mysteries revealed, but if people don't pay attention to what these things say, they're not going to understand the mystery. Babylon the Great is a prison for fallen angels. Revelation 18 verse 2. So that place that James Richard is talking about, the bottomless pit, that's Babylon the Great. It's also Sheol. And it's so much more. There's so many things happening up there. Hey, C.P. Howitzer, good to see you. And Don Pratt, good to see you. Okay, check this out. Right here, remember I was talking about the New Jerusalem up in the sky, the temple of God. Look at this, verse 6. And they shall go up, this is talking about those kings. They shall go up and tread underfoot the land of his elect ones. That's New Jerusalem. They're going to tread underfoot New Jerusalem. And look at what it says. And the land of his elect ones, New Jerusalem, shall be before them a threshing floor and a highway. A highway. I like that, Cindy Lou. That's a good way to put it. Look what it says in verse 7. But the city of my righteous ones shall be a hindrance to their horses. So when I'm talking about flat earth coming down from Jesus, from heaven, out of heaven from God, whatever you want to put it, when we're talking about flat earth like that, it is land. And I'm saying that it's a land of inheritance, and I'm saying that it's a promised land. And look at what this story says. This story says that city, the city of my righteous, shall be a hindrance to Babylon's horses. It says their horses, but he's talking about the kings. And the angels shall return and hurl themselves to the east upon the Parthians and the Medes. Yeah. couple more verses right here. Again, what James Richards said, the bottomless pit is where the fallen angels are bound. Look what it says here. In those days, Sheol shall open its jaws, and they shall be swallowed up therein. And their destruction shall be at an end. Sheol shall devour the sinners in the presence of the elect. We're watching it, guys. We're watching them climbing into Sheol, sinking into Sheol. There's another place in the book of Enoch where he says that they'll be sinking into Sheol. I don't remember where it is. I just thought of an interesting thing to look up in Enoch here. Oh, flat earth. Let's go. Let me just go to Enoch chapter 93. Here's another one. Okay, where is it? This is like, it's like saying, it's kind of like it seems to be kind of like a historical summary, and it puts it in weeks, like the 4th week, 5th week, 6th week. And look what happens in the 7th week. And after that, in the 7th week, shall an apostate generation arise. And many shall be its deeds, and all its deeds shall be apostate. All its deeds shall be apostate. Remember what Satan wants to do in his heart. He wants to ascend into heaven. Okay? Does it say Satan wants to sin against God? No, it doesn't say that. Satan wants to ascend into heaven. That's what's in his heart. He wants to ascend above the heights of the clouds and be like the Most High. So what does Satan want to do? He wants to ascend into heaven. And so he's obviously talked men into thinking they can ascend into heaven, even though Jesus said no man ascends into heaven but he that came down from heaven. So they're just going into darkness and thinking they're going into heaven. And it's sad. But look at, and at its close shall be elected. This is what I'm saying. Remember those 4 angels holding the 4 winds, and the other angel came to them and said, don't loose the winds until we've sealed the servants of God in their foreheads. So there's a time that's happening. There's 2 witnesses giving their testimony about, I believe, about what they saw in their visions. They're giving their testimony, and during that time, if it's 1260 days maybe, but during that time is when people have an opportunity to be elected. And it all happens to be based on whether a person is willing to receive the love of the truth, to receive truth that they did not know. Although it's truth, it was hidden. So when this truth becomes unhidden, who's going to receive it and who's going to throw it out and who's going to spit on it? Look what it says. At its close shall be elected the elect righteous of the eternal plant of righteousness, to receive, what does it say? To receive 7-fold instruction concerning all his creation. I'll say it again. Flat earth, guys. So important. You know, that's another thing. I say this, this is again with Sean Griffin or whatever. I said on their channel that flat earth is the gospel of the kingdom being preached. No, it's not. That's what you get. No, it's not. That's just a dumb idea. And I'm like, well, that's what Jesus said. Hey, Michael Kahn, good to see you. That's what Jesus said. He said that, and this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached unto all nations as a witness, and then shall the end come. And I believe what he said, especially when I'm bearing witness to something that I didn't for my whole life. So, I don't know. Take it or leave it, guys. But to be a person that is preaching to other people, acting like you have understanding of what's happening, is probably fine. But if other people are coming to you and saying, okay, but there's things happening right now in the world that we need to apply these scriptures to, because they've become manifest, and you know, it's just not real to them in a way where they can look at the world and go, oh, I see that, you know. Like this an example would be when John said that he's this man, or whatever it was, he caused all both rich and poor and free and bond to receive a mark in their forehead or in their hand, in order to buy or sell or whatever, however it worded it. And I'm just thinking of like, okay, so if all of a sudden next time you go to the store and there's a little machine there and they won't let you go into the store unless you do something with that machine, and then you ask them what, and they say all you have to do is just walk up to it, put your forehead, or let it look at your forehead, or let it look at your hand, and get your temperature. And if you don't have a fever, you can go right in. What if it's as simple as that? John just saw people getting scanned, their temperature getting scanned, and look at that guy. He had a fever, so he couldn't go in. So you can't buy or sell unless you have the mark. Like I think John thought something was in our hand or in our forehead, but he didn't understand maybe that it's an infrared gun or an infrared thermometer. I don't know, but I'm just saying all these other things, apply them that way, at least to think about it, consider it. Like fire coming down from heaven. In 2,000 years, nobody ever made any kind of fire come down from the heaven, from the sky, to the earth and deceive the world with that. Again, flat earth. Why do you think flat earth is? It's a hindrance to their horses, guys. Flat earth is. So what I'm saying is that there's a city coming down from God out of heaven, guys. Not built with hands. It's a temple, but it's not built with hands. And it's actually, what does it say? That I read the verse, him that overcometh will I make a pillar in the temple of my God. It's made of people. It's made of, not like physically made of people. It's spiritual, celestial. I'm not saying I understand how it's all going to look in the end, but it's definitely coming down. Like I'm saying, the biblical cosmology, the 6-day creation, is definitely coming down from heaven to the people here who are bearing witness to it. And then what are we all doing? We all can't stop yapping about it because we have a testimony to give. He made us bear witness, and we have a testimony. We're giving our testimony about what he made us bear witness to. That's what he said would happen. That's exactly what Jesus said would happen, and it's happening now. So it does kind of pain me to see ministries in denial of it and arguing and fighting against it. That's hard to watch. It is. So that's why I bring up other names of ministries. I'm not trying to rip on them. I'm trying to get them to take it seriously. Like whatever they're like. Well, here's an example. Sean Griffin was saying about someone. I think someone asked him a question in the chat or something about who the Antichrist was, or the son of perdition, or whatever. And he kind of said a few things, and then but the very last thing he says, I think it's Apollo or whatever. I think that's what he said, or like Nimrod or whatever. I'm like, yeah, that's right, but who is it? Like did someone 20 years ago, did they name their baby Apollo? Like, is there a guy named Apollo that's walking around that's going to be like making fire come down from heaven and stuff? Or is it maybe a spirit? Like the angel of the bottomless pit, you know? But it's going to be something real is what I'm saying. And it already is something real. It's Elon Musk. Look at what he's doing. He's saying, well, he stands in the temple of God talking about how he's going to bring a civilization to Mars. Okay? That's like kind of speaking great words against the Most High. Okay? And blaspheming God's tabernacle and those who dwell in heaven. Where's God's tabernacle? Ding! It's up in the sky. It's heaven. So someone's going to blaspheme God's tabernacle? NASA, ESA, all of them. Roscosmos, JAXA, CSNA, ISRO, all these, that's what they do. They blaspheme God's tabernacle. They defile it. They climb into it and defile it. Yeah, I don't know what to say. Don't ignore the ascending into heaven part. That I don't. Show me in the Bible where it says Lucifer's gonna. What is he gonna do? What I mean, we got in Revelation 12. He's gonna fight with Michael up in the heaven, a war in heaven. In Isaiah, he's going to ascend into heaven and exalt his throne above the stars of God. Space station. See, like Enoch went to that place and he saw those 7 stars that were imprisoned. John went to the same place and saw those 7 stars. They were called mountains. That's what Enoch called them, mountains burning with fire. So in Revelation 17, John went to a place and saw 7 mountains. And when John went, it was at the end, which would be now. And there was 8 when John went. There wasn't just 7. John saw the 7, and then the angel told him, that one there, that 8th one, that one's the beast that is and, or, yeah, was, is not, and yet is, and shall ascend out of the bottomless pit. So that's up there, guys. The beast already ascended out of the bottomless pit. The beast already came up from the sea. And no, John wasn't standing on the sand of the sea. That was in the previous chapter. If you look at the Greek, the KJV messed it up. They put the end of the last verse in the previous chapter into Revelation 13, verse 1. It's actually talking about the dragon standing on the sand of the sea. Look it up. Michael Kahn saying something about Tracy Yates spreading false scripture. Ooh, that's not good. Yeah, they are worshiping Helios, Flat Earth Space Agency. You want to hear what God thinks about that? He told Ezekiel, he called it an abomination that they were doing in his temple. So I'm going to just read it quick because you brought it up. So it's a great thing to read. Like Ezekiel hit me hard. Like in the last half of the year, I was like, whoa, just like boom. Okay, let's see here. Right here it says, Ezekiel 8. I think I could start in verse 15. Or no, yeah, 15. Then he said unto me, hast thou seen this, O son of man? Turn thee yet again, and thou shalt see greater abominations than these. Actually, you know what? I have a video that I'm just going to play once I find it, if I can. Because it has all these verses in it, and it's a much probably better way than me just reading them. So I'm going to try to find that really quick. I kind of think I know where it is. Kind of. I'll see. But, yeah, I don't know. Like, one of the people that comes to my channel that I enjoy their comments, and they got a blue wrench here. They said a comment yesterday that it made me think a lot, and I'm just going to paraphrase their comment. I can't remember exactly what it was, but something like, am I taking my chances? In your beliefs, yes. In my beliefs, no. That's what the comment was, basically. And it made me think, maybe some of us are very confident in what we're saying and what we're learning and what we're realizing and what's being revealed. We're really confident in it. And I think that it's because God showed it to us. And there's this thing where you can't, like, if I could get all of you to see the way that I'm seeing some of these things, I would, but I can't. And so I don't know, that it's just scary. It's scary. That's probably the best way to put it. It's scary. You know, like people in your family or my family, whatever, they're, you know that they understand that I'm saying what I'm saying, but then like my dad, for example, he's like, nothing you he just said this to me and I don't know why. We were talking about this subject actually about ascending into heaven, you know, and that's what Satan wants to do. And he's like, no, that's just the way you're looking at it or whatever. And I, okay. And then he said, I don't even know if I can say it with a straight face. He said, nothing you've said to me in the last 5 years changes anything. And I'm like, wow, okay. That's sad. That's very sad. But like, oh, well, that, you know, it is what it is. I'm not here twisting some screws in your head. I'm here just saying what I'm led to say, what I'm called to say. So if you do feel like that, if you're a person that says, yeah, nothing you've said in the last 5 years is worth a dang thing, then maybe this is not your video. Maybe it's not your channel. Maybe it's, I don't know. I guess, like, what do you do to encourage someone? I have no idea where this video is, guys. What do you do to encourage someone to actually seek some of these things out and really pay attention to what they're saying? Like, really pay attention. I don't mean like listen to me. I mean, like, go to Enoch 57 and see if it says what I'm bringing up. Does it say that there's men riding on the four winds and it made the whole pillars of the earth fall down or whatever? You know what I mean? That's what it says. That's what Enoch said. John said he saw war in heaven. John said he saw some beast making fire come down from heaven after it came up out of the earth. You can watch a rocket launch that does that. You can watch a landing booster that does that. And a lot of the flat earthers don't even believe it's real. But there's reason for that too. Like, I don't think it really matters if they think it's real or not. They know that it's a lie. They know that there's something wrong. And yeah, Doc Michael says signs and wonders in the sky. Lying signs and wonders too. If you look up at the night sky, you're going to see tons of Starlink satellites. That's what you'll see. I see them every day. And every time I see them, I go, my heart pounds an extra beat. Because of how intimidating it is to know that this creation and the God that made it has made it in a way that it has an end. And we're at that part. We've been lucky enough to be born into that last generation. And I'm not trying to smile. I'm just saying that it's probably, you know, the least desirable time to be alive, I would say. That's what I would say. I'd say it's the least desirable time to be alive at all. Not like it's bad to be alive. I'm saying if there was ever a challenge for anyone to overcome something, you know, wow, I can't believe I can't find this video. It was just about Ezekiel. I gotta organize through my videos a little bit, guys. I know that. And do I already have it in the... I wonder if I already have it in the list. That'd be funny. No, I don't. It'll be worth it. Have you guys ever heard of, we have heliocentric, right? It's like where the sun is the center, the heliocentric model. But have you ever heard of heliotropic? That's what's in this video. It's like there's flowers, like a sunflower's heliotropic, and it faces the sun. It points towards the sun. And I don't want you to be heliotropic or heliocentric, because the sun is just a light. So where would I have put that video? Oh wait, I know what it's called. I can search for it. I just remembered what it's called. Don't worship the sun or something. Something's going on upstairs. Search. Sorry this is taking so long, guys. Don't. Oh, it's got to be here. Yeah, there it is. Sweet. Don't worship the sun. Heliotropism. Okay. Thanks for hanging, guys. All right, here we go. Let's see. Where is it? Don't worship the sun. Then he said unto me, Hast thou seen this, O son of man? Turn thee yet again, and thou shalt see greater abominations than these. And he brought me into the inner court of the Lord's house, and behold, at the door of the temple of the Lord, between the porch and the altar, were about 25 men, with their backs toward the temple of the Lord, and their faces toward the east, and they worshipped the sun towards the east. Then he said unto me, Hast thou seen this, O son of man? Is it a light thing to the house of Judah that they commit the abominations which they commit here? For they have filled the land with violence, and have returned to provoke me to anger, and lo, they put the branch to their nose. With their backs toward the temple of the Lord, and their faces toward the east. And they worship the sun towards the east. With their backs toward the temple of the Lord, and their faces toward the east. And they worship the sun towards the east. Unless thou lift up thine eyes unto heaven, and when thou seest the sun, and the moon and the stars, even all the host of heaven, shouldest be driven to worship them, and serve them, which the Lord thy God hath divided unto all nations under the whole heaven. But the Lord hath taken you, and brought you forth out of the iron furnace, even out of Egypt. Whoops, sometimes it does that, and I gotta pause it. I don't know, something's trying to catch up. Sorry. To be unto him a people of inheritance, as ye are this day. And God said, Let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven, to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs, and for seasons, and for days and years. And let them be for lights in the firmament of the heaven, to give light upon the earth. And it was so. And God made 2 great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night. He made the stars also. And the Lord said unto him, Go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. Then he said unto me, The iniquity of the house of Israel and Judah is exceeding great, and the land is full of blood, and the city full of perverseness. For they say, The Lord hath forsaken the earth, and the Lord seeth not. And as for me also, Mine eye shall not spare, neither will I have pity, but I will recompense their way upon their head. And behold, the man clothed with linen, which had the inkhorn by his side, reported the matter, saying, I have done what thou hast commanded me. And he said unto me, Hast thou seen this, O son of man? Turn thee yet again, and thou shalt see greater abominations than these. And he brought me into the inner court of the Lord's house, and behold, at the door of the temple of the Lord, between the porch and the altar, were about 25 men. Whoops, I think that's going to get me block my video if I keep playing that. We'll skip over to this one really quick. Guys, don't put a branch to your nose, okay? Like, really. If you're living on a spinning ball, jump off. Like, we're running out of time. I don't know how I could say it more urgent, like with more urgent tone in my voice. How long have we been preaching this flat earth craziness? 5 years? 5 years. Think about that. How many more years? How long does this go? We're seeing scriptures being fulfilled, you guys. We're seeing things like, what does it say? Like, I think everyone can probably relate to this a little bit, even if you don't even believe the Bible. In Revelation 6, when there's those horsemen or whatever, and the first one was riding on a white horse, whatever. Here we go. 6 verse 1, and I saw when the Lamb opened one of the seals, and I heard as it were the noise of thunder, one of the 4 beasts saying, Come and see. And I saw, and behold, a white horse, and he that sat on him had a bow, and a crown was given unto him, and he went forth conquering and to conquer. Like, I'm just saying, like, just consider it. Coronavirus, okay? Corona, that, like, crown is the same word. And I would say he's conquering, and who knows? Maybe that's the same part of the mark of the beast. Think about it. Maybe this coronavirus came straight from that bottomless pit, you guys, because when they're landing rocket boosters and fire's coming down from the sky, it seems to me that that's the dragon's tail doing that, casting 1/3 of the stars down, and stars are angels, and apparently Satan has got 1/3 of them on his side, and he's sending them down here. So what is coronavirus? I'm just saying, there's spiritual things happening that our eyes can't see. And look what the world's freaking out, living in fear, trying to avoid getting sick from something that all of us are kind of like laughing at. Are you guys, this world's gone insane. Quick, buy toilet paper. Go to the hospital where people are dying and do a little ditty. Do some dancing. Are you kidding me? This is called, it's said in the scriptures a lot of times that the people in the world will lose their minds. That's what we're seeing. I got a video to play about 2 great lights, and there's some kind of cool let's see here. C.P. Howitzer caught my eye. Jesus said it best. Prophets have the hardest time in their own household. I often consider that every time I have similar resistance in my household. They look at you as their baby, not as born. Yeah, that's true. And you know what though? I have to say this. When someone says to me, and they look at me and they say, nothing that you've said in the last 5 years has made any change or any difference. When someone says that to me, that means I've made that the things I've said have made a great difference. That's what it means to me. So I'm not, like, I know what people say, and there's a reason why they say it at that moment that they say it. But when someone says something like that to me, all I hear is, I want to make you think that you're talking nonsense, even though they're hearing what I'm saying, some of it. So, 2 great lights. Let's check it out.
And the evening and the morning were the third day. And God said,
Let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night. And let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and years. And let them be for lights in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth.
And it was so. And God made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night. He made the stars also. And God set them in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth, and to rule over the day and over the night, and to divide the light from the darkness. And God saw that it was good. And the evening and the morning were the fourth day.
Yeah, I think my program's is locked up. So I'm sure you guys can still hear me, though. Looks like we get the picture of the moon for a minute, if that's what you guys are seeing. Oh, yeah, it locked up. Program terminated. Here's what it says. Access violation at 0x77778B726. Tried to read from blah, blah, blah. Program terminated. Last CP is RF. Anybody write code? I'm just kidding. I think I've got to get maybe an updated version. Anyway, so yeah, the moon there, that's a light. That's a light. What's BHO, the Global Citizen Leader? What's BHO? BHO. Cindy Lou. I'm sorry to hear that. Had her purse stolen and her mask stolen. Did they steal the rash too? I'm just kidding. She has a rash from wearing a mask at the car factory plant. Looking for new work now. And that, you know what, let me use that as kind of like something that I've been thinking about today, okay? The guy that I'm helping on his farm, he sends me to Menards often. And I have to put a bandana on there. I don't know if I'm going there anymore. Just after thinking about this, I don't think I'm going to go there anymore. I don't think that I'm supposed to. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't think that, let's put it into like a drastic situation. What if that was the only way that I could get a paycheck was to go there and wear a mask for that guy or whatever? I think that's when we need to start exactly what Cindy Lou said, start looking for new work. If it convicts you and you're like, wait a minute, I'm not supposed to be falling into this deception, which I'm almost like, I believe myself that it's something that came from the bottomless pit. Coronavirus. It's just not normal. It's not reality that we're used to. It's something different. Look at the world. They're freaking out. Everywhere you go, people are wearing masks that don't do anything for your health, like for stopping a virus, but they will make everybody sick, and people just don't realize that. So I question that with very serious, it's very serious, because what's next? Okay, I'll put a mask on to go into Menards. Okay. But then, am I really being a witness if I do that? Do you know what I'm saying? Or am I giving my testimony because I like what Kelly says, Jesus didn't wear a mask. Just saying. So true. But really, I think we have to be careful. We have to be careful. We don't know, like maybe the mask is no big deal. Okay, maybe it's just something stupid that people are doing, but I don't think so. We live in that time, so I think we can do what Jesus said, and we can overcome this world because of Him. and he's like, he's the only thing that we've got, because the rest of the world has gone mad. They're all driving around. They're all DWI, driving while insane. Yeah. So yeah, I've been convicted just today, just specifically today. I made that video this morning. I was trying to find it, and that's what locked my program up. Is I was trying to find that other video. You know what? I got another way to do it. Haha. Oh no, I don't. I don't even have the program open anymore. Let's see what happens when I click this. Does it change? It doesn't. It will. Okay, guys. I made this video way longer than I really planned on. But please share this simple information with your friends, your family, and especially people that you know that have ministries. You don't have to tell them, you should be doing that. All you have to do is say, there's something that Enoch saw that doesn't need an interpretation. He just said it. And it said that it was what made the pillars of the earth move out of their place. And it was sound. It was sound. It was noise. So I'm like thinking that if people are going to ignore that, they're going to be taken by surprise. They're not going to, I don't think we're going to know the moment that Jesus is going to, I don't think we're going to know the moment that any of this is going to happen, because I think a lot of it's happening not in a moment, but in a period of several years. I'm just give one example. I see something happening that Enoch and Jude wrote about, and I don't know. People talk about a rapture, and I'm like, I don't know. I don't know exactly what. I think when Jesus said, and I will raise you up on the last day, I think that's the rapture. I think that's what it is. But, so I think I guess I would say that the resurrection or whatever, that would be the rapture. But, his second coming. But when I think of his second coming, I think of what Jude said, and he said, and Enoch, and they said, he cometh with 10,000s of his saints to execute judgment. And I'm going, well, how is his saints going to come back with him unless he somehow has them with him? And then I go, wait a minute. His kingdom is not of this world. And I don't think mine is either. I don't think any of these people in the chat. I think you guys all have you're in search of a kingdom like Abraham. You're in search of a city that has foundations, and the builder and maker's God. It's an inheritance that I think a lot of people are starting to see. So I like what Michael Kahn says. I would advise people to mentally, physically, and spiritually prepare. Yes. And also, if you know the truth, I'm talking about flat earth or biblical cosmology, the 6-day creation, if you know that, how true that is, and if you know that God's right above us in those clouds, flying with the clouds of heaven, if you know that, tell everyone. Doesn't matter what they think of you, just tell them. Because you're going to look back at this and you're going to say, I should have told everyone. I'm at Walmart and I'm telling people, hey, you ever hear of flat earth? Just strangers. So, you get the people are like, yeah, whatever. Or some people are like, pfft. But who cares? Just walk by those people. Some people go, what earth? Flat earth? I've heard of that before, but I've never thought about it. And some people, you can tell within 2 seconds that, boom, it hits them. I'm not saying they believe the earth's flat in 2 seconds, but the subject has never crossed their mind, and you can tell when the first time it does, because they get the kind of a look on their face, and they're like, oh. Some people can understand these things, and some people can't. So yeah. Kelly, I like that. I think you're right. I don't think he will come till after tribulations. You know what I think? I think when he comes, that's what the tribulations are from. Like all the, and so when he comes with 10,000s of his saints, I think they were born into the world as babies. The children of Israel, they were born. Hey, Davey, 3-on-3, good to see you. I'm just reading the comments there. He's coming 3.5 years into tribulation. That could be. And what I'm saying is, what if he's already? Because I'm not saying he's here that we can see him with our eyes or something, but it does say that every eye will see him. So, but I think that, well, what did he say? He said, "You didn't choose me; I chose you, and ordained you to go and bear fruit that remains." Well, I'll tell you, in my life, something happened in my life that I didn't choose. And I know a lot of you guys that had the same thing happen. Something happened in your life that you didn't choose. And all of a sudden you got stuck with knowledge of truth that, like, what? Everyone in your family's like, we need to go see a psychiatrist or whatever, psychologist or whatever. Are you okay? Is there something bothering you in your mind in these last few years? Do we need to go? Can we help? Okay, that kind of stuff. And you're like, no, I'm just saying water's flat at its surface when at rest. Simple, nothing big. The earth's flat because water. Done. That's easy. That's what I say. How could the earth not be flat? Because water. Cindy Lou, you're funny. Yeah, so all right guys, please share the information with people about Enoch 57. That was probably the most straightforward, simple chapter that talks about this destruction that's coming, and that's probably the clearest one that I don't think anyone could really say that it didn't mean something like that. Whatever these wagons were that Enoch saw, they were so loud. What's the loudest wagons in the world ever created? It would be the space shuttle. And it rides on the winds, and it has men riding on it. And yeah, I'm pretty sure it's shaking or moving the pillars of the earth out of their place. And not the shuttle, because the shuttle was retired, but rockets. The whole aerospace industry, anything trying to leave the earth, anything trying to ascend into heaven and exalt his throne above the stars of God. Scary. So yeah, and here's another thing that I realized, that I was talking to my bro today, and we were just talking about some of these things, and I was like, you know what one of the best things it says in the Bible? It's in Joel 2, and I don't know where else. There's a couple other places. Anyone, like, you can bank on this stuff. This is what's awesome. I'm not saying money. I'm saying you can put your trust in these words when it says, anyone who calls on the name of the Lord shall be delivered, shall be saved. And so, yeah. Cindy Luheman says, yes, Joe, but we need one strong enough to cause 3 days of darkness. I don't understand where that 3 days of darkness comes from. I've heard people say that all the time. But, let's see, of darkness. I don't know where that would be in the Bible. Like, I'm not sure. But I do know that there's darkness will be thrown down and on fire and everything. Because, yeah, God isn't going to flood the earth with water again after the flood. He's going to do it with fire instead. So it'd be much, I don't know if that's worse. I think that's worse. But Roderick says, reminder that tribulation is Jacob's trouble, aka Israel, which isn't the church. The church is gone, then restrained is revealed. And that's some of that stuff is like, it seems like the churches, they have this, pretty solid stance on all these things. And I found the church that I went to, they like the idea of salvation is something like that they knew about. And I'm like, none of the prophets did. The prophets all searched for it diligently, but never found it, guys. And well, they didn't find it while they were alive. They searched for it. That was the whole point. They searched for it. Abraham he sojourned in the land of promise. He was here just because he had to be here. He was waiting for that. Same as what Jesus said. My kingdom's not of this world. If my kingdom were of this world, maybe I'd give a crap. I'm just kidding. There is another kingdom that's coming. This one that we're all used to and that we all live in it's fading away. And it's not something that, like a lot of people I hear saying things like, oh, we need to get a community and live off the land and all these things. Like, no, that's not where my kingdom is either. Like, where I want to go is not anywhere. You can't see that anywhere in this world where I want to go. Like, I want to be a pillar in the temple of my God. That's what I want. And I don't want to go out anymore after that. You know what I mean?
Joe,
what?
a couple of pieces.
Sorry about that. So yeah, I think it's just, I can't even get the words out of my mouth how I just wish that everyone would consider not necessarily what I'm saying, but just these things. Take these prophets that write things in the Bible, like in Revelation, when John sees a dragon flying in heaven, and John said that dragon was Satan. So when we live in times and there's people that say, oh, we live in the end of days, but then they're like, no, Satan's not a rocket. Well, you're kind of contradictory when you say that, because there's a dragon flying up in heaven. Who cares if it's a spaceship? John said that it was Satan, okay? So that's where I'm at. But I just I feel like I should end this, but then I also feel like I haven't got the point across, but whatever. Yeah. I don't know what to say. I think our deeds are apostate, and we didn't know it. We were born into that, and there's a way out. There's a way out, so... All right, guys, I'm going to head out of here. Thank you all for hanging out and chatting. It was a lot of fun. And please share this with other ministries. This concept of ascending into heaven. That's what Lucifer wants. He wants to ascend into heaven. He doesn't want to, be pedophile or whatever, go to Hollywood and make songs that are, sexually whatever. Okay? That's all just a result of wickedness. That's because the people in this world, the sinners, have the order of the stars concealed from them. It's hidden from them. So that's why all that evil happens. All of it. Abortion, all of that. It's all because of those evil luminaries and the fallen angels. And it's all because of man wanting to ascend into heaven at the end. And that's what happens. The dragon, God wrote it into their hearts. These kings, remember there was 10 kings, but they were horns, okay? They looked like horns. That's what John and Daniel both said. So those 10 horns, God wrote it into their hearts to fulfill his will and to agree and give their kingdom unto the beast. And you can look up on NASA television and watch it. So, Chucky Owens, good to see you. Haven't seen you before, I don't think. Yeah, the rainbow is a covenant from God that he will not flood the earth again. Yeah, that's right. Fire comes from the sky. There'll be a great plague of hail, and the whole earth and its elements will melt with fervent heat. So yeah. All right, guys. Thank you for your awesome comments, and thank you for hanging out. And I hope you have a wonderful evening